right here. Oh, well, I don't have to actually take. We've got this bed. It's not quite finished, but I do have it planted out. Blackberries. The dino kale's there just for seeds, and when it seeds out, that'll come up. But we've got the strawberries in. I've got some blackberries in. Now this wire is going to go all the way up to the top, and then I'm going to do a pergola, which you'll see at a later point in this video. And we've got, that's a volunteer actually that's doing very well from last year, and we're going to have this same cattle guard in the middle so we can trellis these. Oh, I need to liberate that like I did this other one so it can grow out. And I need to plant this one at the end, and we're going to do the wire on this end as well. Tons of parsley and the Jabticaba tree. Now all of this is going to be moved on Saturday. Those water tanks are going on the other side of the yard, and we're going to do a continuation of these beds, not all the way down, but another 16 feet for the Malabar spinach. This is our grape plant that's doing remarkably well. The pomegranate is really loving life right now. This is another pomegranate that's going to go somewhere in here. And somebody keeps stepping on this. That's a jujube berry and a jujube. They're like super mini tomatoes, and these are Barbados cherries that they're dwarf Barbados cherry. So these buckets are all going to move, and then I'm going to put some watermelons down at the base, and some of these are weeds, but that's another series of volunteer blackberries, so I'm hoping that'll fill out pretty soon. The lot of butter crunch lettuce that we're going to harvest probably this evening. Unfortunately, the mulberries came out before the last freeze, and most of them are perishing. As you can see there, that's a new one, and that's a new one, but that perished. And it's actually pretty cold today, but there's a lot of new growth, and I'm hoping a lot of new potential for mulberries. Now these are going to be completely torn down, and that's going to be emptied out and torn down next weekend, and we're going to have 3 more beds in here, but it's going to center around the trellis and pergola for the dragon fruit. I've got to put the 4-corner post on this and move it flush with this one, and fruit trees will go into this corner, and I'm going to transplant. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's one passion fruit, and underneath those weeds is another passion fruit. I've already dug the hole there for one, and come over here, we've got these dug and transplanted, and it's starting to show some, well, this one's starting to show a lot of life, the signs of shock. So I'm going to have to prune that back because that's definitely not good. This one's not doing too terribly bad, but it is showing some signs of stress. And then these are the pepper plants. It looks like this one is coming back pretty well. This one right here is struggling, but I think next week with a little bit of sun, it should come up pretty quickly. Those little white flowers are sugar snap peas, and I don't see any fruit on any of the plums. But we're going to have to prune that back, and we do have fruit. There's one peach. I don't know if we can, there it is on this tree, but these peaches are starting to, this is the Bonanza. These peaches are starting to really look very, very nice. So, and this peach tree needs to be shored up with some sort of, because it's falling backwards. But we've got a peach. Can I get it in the frame? Right there. And I don't know if we have any peaches on this tree or not. Yes, we do, at the very, very, very top. So that's doing very well. These are the walls for the other side fence that I was talking about. These are tomato plants that still need to be put into the ground. And oh, here it is. I found them. We were looking for these. I need to put these into the ground for Bradley. And those are broccolis that are going to seed, I think, or maybe cabbage. Come over here. This is going to be where the grapes are going to go. So we've got the base of the pergola, and then I've got the wire all the way down to here, and I need to cut another piece of wire, and that'll happen next weekend. And we've got tomato plants planted out and a bunch of starters. Now these grape plants are going in this bed, and so I'm going to put those in right now, and then I'm going to start stringing the grapevines from over here over the pergola. And I'm going to have to use clamps to start, and then I'll need to get some strings. That's the dinosaur kale. I'm going to come in and harvest a whole bunch of that here shortly, because I'm going to take a lot of that with me. And maybe some of the lettuce too, because there's a lot of lettuce. And we've got these two new beds. I'm going to do another bed, probably 5 by 5 for some more trees. And I was thinking about putting a olive tree in that corner, but not exactly sure. And then right here where we have, well, this will be empty space when we're done working. We're going to do at least one 10 by 5 foot hydroponic tower, and then we're going to have all these buckets lined up nicely. And I think I'm going to do primarily peppers in the buckets. And I got to take that tree down behind the AC unit, because that's just getting really big really fast. And then at some point I need to repair my greenhouse. But I've got, each weekend I've got more and more stuff to do in this garden, and I'm about to start another garden at Dr. Wilson's house. The collard greens are doing really well, and when I move these starter plants and these grape plants, I'm going to move this one bucket. I think I'm going to leave the other buckets in for now, because they seem to like their home up there. I'm going to plant those two the two tomatoes that Brad wants, and a couple of the Cherokee purples that I really like. And then these will primarily be Cherokee purples next weekend. So if we can keep them alive one more week and the starter cups, I'd be real happy. So a lot of work accomplished, and these starter plants are looking really, really good. Now most of these are buried at least a foot under the ground, and so they'll root out really nicely. And I'm really excited about how this is all developing. We're getting a hugely late start, so I don't know how much production we're going to get, but I think in about 45 days to 60 days, which would put us in April, May, first week of June, we should be really flush with tomatoes all the way through, hopefully through July, and then we'll really have a great setup for our fall and our winter, fall and winter. So, and then all this peripheral stuff will be hauled off to the junkyard. So when we're done, it's going to be really nice, clean, and attractive. And I mean, it still looks like it's under construction, because it is, but we're getting there.